Sorry, there's a little bit of a delay there. Okay, so I'm going to go over the chapter test with you guys because it's not actually a test. It's more of just a review of the whole chapter, so you can see kind of where you're at. But I wanted to just go over some of the ones I think you might have difficulty with, some that I may have not done before with you. So the first couple problems, I think you guys can do those fairly easily. The unit rates 5 and 6, you just need to get it to be per 1. So for number 5, you would divide by 3, and on number 6, you would also divide by 3. And then on numbers 7 through 9, you write the fraction or mixed number as a percent. So remember, per 100. So let me go ahead and do number 9 because that's a mixed number. And you have to change it to a percent. So let me go to my whiteboard here. So this is number 9 on the test, which is page 242. You're supposed to write this mixed number as a percent with a percent sign. Okay, so we know that we needed to get per 100. However, it's a mixed number, so you need to make it an improper fraction first. So 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7 over 5. And now I need to find an equivalent fraction that's out of 100 per 100. So in order to do that, I know that 5 times 20 is 100. And 7 times 20, right? Because I have to do the same thing to the top. 7 times 2 is 14, add a 0, 140. So this is actually going to be more than 100%, right? 140 is greater than 100. So this is actually 140%. Whoops, that's not dollars. Percent. I was thinking of the last problem I did with money. Okay, so 140% would be your answer there. That was number 9 on the test. And like I said, it's not a real test, it's just more of a review. So let's do number 12. 120. This is number 12. It's 120% of 75. So it's going to be more than 75. Our final answer will be more than 75 because it's more than 100%, right? 120 is past 100%. That'd be like getting extra credit on a test. So now I'm going to take my percent. I'm going to change it to be a fraction per 100. The word of means multiply, as always. And then 75 is a whole number, put it over 1. Okay, now I can either reduce this fraction or I can cross cancel. I think I'm going to reduce this fraction because I think that would be slightly easier. So I could divide by 20. So if I divide by 20 and divide by 20 to reduce this fraction, 120 divided by 20 would be 6. And 100 divided by 20 would be 5. So 6/5 times 75 over 1. And now I can cross cancel the 5s. So this would be 1. Let's see, 5 goes into 60. 12 times, that's 3 more 5s to get 75, right? So 15, 5 times 15. So now this would be 15. I'm just going to check my work. So 5 times 15 is 75. So this would be 15. So now I have 6 times 15, which is going to be 80, I think, because it would be 1 more 5 than we had before. Let's double check. Oh, 90. 1 more 15. Okay. 1 more 15. Yeah. So 90 over 1. So 6 times 15 is 90 over 1. which is the same as just 90. Okay, so 120% of 75 is 90, which makes sense because this number has to be larger than 75 because it's more than 100%. Okay, let's do let's do 13. 34 is 40% of what number? So the key thing here is to remember what the words mean. Is means equals, of means multiply. What number? We use a variable n. Okay, so I'm just gonna write the sentence but using symbols instead of words. So 34 is, right, equals, and this is number 13 on the test. 34 is 40%, and I'm gonna go ahead and write 40% as a fraction, of, multiply, what number? Remember, we use n because we don't know what the number is, okay? So 40 over 100 times something equals 34. Now this is where you have to use inverse operations to isolate and get 40 over 100 canceled out. So I'm gonna multiply by the inverse or the flipped version, the reciprocal of 40 over 100. So I know it's kind of squishy here, but whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So that's gonna cancel that out. Multiply this by the flipped version. Okay, and then now I'm gonna be left with just n on this side. And on this, I can cross cancel or I could reduce this fraction. So I'm gonna reduce 100 over 40 divide by 20. So this would now be 5, and this would be 2. So 5 over 2 times 34 over 1. So now I can cross cancel the 2 and the 34. That's gonna be 1. That's gonna be 17. So now all I have to do is 5 times 17 and 1 times 1. So on my calculator, I'm gonna do 5 times 17. Or you could do 5 times 10, which is 50. 5 times 7, which is 35, add them together and you get 85. So 85 over 1 equals n, which is just 85, right? So that number that we were missing was 85. So let's go back to the question. 35 is 40% of 85. So we know that 50% of a number means half. So 40% needs to be less than half. So is 34 less than half of 85? It is, so that makes sense. That 85 would be your answer. Okay. Let's do one of the conversions, which is number 15. Okay, so for 15, I'm gonna do 5 liters. I need to multiply there. And I'm gonna convert it to quarts. Okay, so I'm gonna put quarts on the top and liters on the bottom over here because I wanna cross the liters out. I wanna cancel them out, right? So now I go to my conversion table in the back and I need to find quarts to liters. So 1 quart equals 0.95 liters. Okay, so that's my conversion factor. I can cross out my liters. 5 times 1 is 5 quarts over 0.95. 5 divided by 0.95 equals 5.26315. So 5.26 would be how I would round it there. 5.26. Now remember, when you have 5 over 0.95, this line here means division, right? So 5 divided by 0.95 is going to give me this number of quarts. Okay? All right, let's go to another problem. Let's do this. So let's see. Soup one is just another conversion. So you just have to make sure you're using the correct conversions and set it up properly. The better buy you could get to be a unit rate per ounce. So on number 18, it needs to be a unit rate. So 48 fluid ounces to $2.40 compared to 60 fluid ounces to $3.60. The other thing you could do is find a common denominator between 48 and 60, or a common factor, a multiple. So what we could do is we could, I know that 48 and 60 can both be divided by 6. So I could divide both numbers by 6 here. But we want it to be out of 6. So this, let's see, 6. So if I divide by 8, I would get 6. So I have to divide 2.4. So divide by 8. $2.40 divided by 8. Right, because I want them both to be out of 6 ounces so I can compare. So 2.40, $2.40 divided by 8 is going to give me 0.3, so 30 cents. So 30 cents for 6 ounces. And then on this one, I want to change it to 6 ounces, and I have to divide by 10. That's easy because you just take away a 0. So divide by 10, and I get 6 ounces, divide by 10. All I do is take away, well, I can't, with the decimal, you just move the decimal. So this would be, move the decimal this way 1 spot. So 0.36. So 36 cents for 6 ounces. And this is 30 cents for 6 ounces. So this one's more expensive. So this is actually the better buy because it's cheaper, right? 6 cents cheaper. So this would be the 48 fluid ounce container of orange juice is the better buy. Okay, and then on 19, it's 40. It says your computer displays the progress of a downloading video. What fraction of the video is downloaded? So it says 46% in the picture. So this is number 19. So you'd have to do 46 over 100 and then reduce it down, right? So if I go to oops, what is it doing here? I don't know if you can see my screen. This is on, okay, and let's not do that. So anyway, on number 19, you'd have to do 46 over 100 and then reduce that down to get a reduced fraction. You should end up with 23 over 50. On number 20, in a class of 20 students, 40% are boys, 25% of the boys and 50% of the girls wear glasses. How many students wear glasses? Okay, so this one's probably a little bit challenging. So let's start with what we know. We have a class of 20 total students, okay. 40% are boys, 25% of the boys and 50% of the girls wear glasses. So 40% are boys, which means 40% of 20 of the total. Okay, so 40 over 100 times 20, cast cancel, equals 40 over 5, which reduces to 8, right? So there are 8 total boys in the class, which means that 8 plus something equals 20, right? Because there's only boys and girls. So 8 plus 12, so 12 has to be girls, right? Because there's only the rest of the class that would be girls. So 8 plus 12 is 20. So now I know there's 8 boys and 12 girls. So then it says 25% of the boys and 50% of the girls wear glasses. Okay, so for the girls, that's pretty easy to figure out because I know that 50% is half, right? So if I just do half of 12, or 12 over 1 times 1/2, I'm going to get 12 divided by 2, which is 6. Okay, so 6 of the girls wear glasses. And for the boys, it says 25% of the boys, which I know is 1/4. But I could also do 25 over 100 times the 8 boys that I have in class. And 25 over 100 reduces down to 1/4 times 8 over 1, which is 8 over 4, which reduces down to 8 divided by 4 is 2. So now 2 boys and 6 girls wear glasses. It wants the total of students that wear glasses. So 2 plus 6 is going to give me 8 students. Okay? Hopefully, my writing is pretty bad with this. Hopefully that helped you guys with your homework. All right.